All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Wednesday, December 8th, 2021, and just a kind of different video as we get closer and closer to the playoffs for the NFL season. Of course, we're going to see different playoff clinching scenarios arise for each week. Now, here in Week 14, we have our first big week of teams that can clinch playoff spots, teams that can win their division potentially, and just a number of other things that we can go over. For the AFC, we'll start off because it's very short. No scenarios this week in which an AFC team can clinch any playoffs. Probably because when we go look at the AFC, we see the 9-4 Patriots are in first place. We go down to the 13th place team. We see the 6-7 Miami Dolphins. Do you know what that means? They are just 3 wins and 3 losses. You know, they're 3 games behind the Patriots for the 1 seed at the 13, which means for the 7 seed, 7-5, they are just two games behind because of losses. And they have the bye week this week. The Broncos, for example, 7-6. If the Bills lose to the Bucs this week, they'd be 7-6. All of a sudden, if the Steelers win, they're in that spot. If the Colts win, they take that spot pretty hard at just like look at the way everything plays out. The Raiders could jump up in there if they win. The Browns could jump up in there if 7-6, 7-6, 7-6. All of these teams are now. It all comes to like common games that they might have played, or if they played each other. Say the Bengals lose this week, 7-6. All of a sudden, there's another playoff spot. Say the Chargers lose 7-6. So all of a sudden, we would see all of these teams all the way down to almost the 13 back in play for the 7, 6, and 5 seeds because of the 7-5, 7-5, 6-5. 7-6, 6-6. So you kind of get the picture here that it's very close in the AFC. So there's no real scenarios. Imagine being a fan. There's 2 bad teams or 3 bad teams. The Texans are eliminated. Yeah, they eliminate teams, and the Texans are the only team. Look at the Lions, though. In some crazy scenario, everybody just keeps losing and the Lions keep winning. They could take the 7 seed, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, these 2 are probably close to being eliminated. But anyway, let's go over for the NFC then. Obviously, there's quite a bit going on there. We'll start with the Arizona Cardinals, I think, best team in the NFL, actually. Right? Yep. Okay, yeah, they are by a game or 2. Actually, I think just that win over the Packers have them up there. Let's see. The Cardinals are 10-2. They have a game versus the Rams. They can clinch a playoff berth, not the division yet, because I believe the Rams are still just a couple games away from them. Yeah, literally 2 games. So they win so they can clinch a playoff spot. They'll be in the playoffs if they win, or if Minnesota loses or ties and San Francisco loses the game. So say Minnesota loses and San Francisco loses, it really doesn't matter what happens Monday night with the Cardinals. They're in the playoffs. Or this situation, a Minnesota loss or tie, New Orleans loss or tie, or Carolina loses. So if those 3 teams all happen to lose this weekend, then they're in. Or if this really crazy thing, it looks like, happens, if San Francisco, New Orleans, Atlanta, and Carolina tie. So like there's some scenarios there. I think the most likely one is this one, but it is possible that this happens as well. Considering who the Vikings are playing this week, we can go check and see like the likelihood. Vikings play the Steelers, so that's an interesting one. This could be figured out pretty quick for the Vikings or for the Cardinals. So there's the Cardinals' opportunity. Let's go. The Packers are next, and the Bucs also, I believe. Those are the only 3 teams with anything going on for this first week of potential clinching teams. So let's look at this. It'll be the Green Bay Packers. They're 9-3. They play the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football. Probably should have been flexed out of there, but it is what it is. Not going to flex the Packers and Bears. I kind of get it. Green Bay can clinch the NFC North Division title, so Green Bay can win the division this week with a win and a Minnesota loss or tie. So if Minnesota loses to the Steelers and Green Bay, all they have to do is handle their business against the team they can normally beat, and they get the NFC North title yet again. Or if they tie and Minnesota losses. Or they can just get a playoff spot, not necessarily win the division. If they win, New Orleans loses or ties, and San Francisco loses. Or if they win, New Orleans loses or ties, Rams loss, and San Francisco ties. That third one is it seems like that second one here, very specific, probably not going to happen. You're probably wanting this to happen for a playoff spot if Minnesota was to win against the Steelers. So there's that for the Packers. Seems pretty good. Now let's go ahead and jump down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by the GOAT, Tom Brady. Possible MVP season for Tom. The only reason I would say it's not for Aaron is because like it's hard to go back to back. You kind of have to like outdo your numbers from the following season to like win that award in consecutive years. That's at least how I would vote on it. But I'm not, I think that's how most see it. Now let's see. Tampa Bay can win the division title with the following situation. It looks very specific, and they need quite a bit to actually just clinch a playoff spot this week. So let's see. If they win, New Orleans loses to the Jets, and Carolina loses to the Falcons, then they can clinch the division. Or if they both tie, say like New Orleans and the Jets ties, or Atlanta, Carolina ties, and Tampa Bay wins, then, whatever. They can win the division. Or you can, like, there's like 6 scenarios here, right? Like, with all these, it could be like Tampa Bay wins and New Orleans ties with the Jets and Carolina loses. Or New Orleans loses and Carolina loses or ties. Or it's a whole, I'm not going to do that, though. Tampa Bay clinches a playoff berth with, let's see here. So, why is that so convoluted? So, if they tie, Carolina loses, New Orleans loses, Minnesota loses, San Francisco loses or ties, and the Washington loses or ties, then Tampa Bay will clinch a playoff berth. It has to be that specific. They need to tie. They need Carolina to lose, Minnesota to lose, New Orleans to lose, San Francisco to tie or lose, and Washington to tie or lose. So kind of a crazy thing. Their best shot is hoping the Jets get an upset and the Falcons beat the Panthers. That seems like their best odds. So yeah, that's I know this isn't going to be the longest video because, in all honesty, what else should be here? It's just what is it? 3 teams have chances to do something. The Cardinals, Packers, and Bucks, the 3 top teams of the NFC. Kind of makes sense. Cardinals can't yet win their division. Packers could, or just clinch a playoff spot. The Bucks could win their division, or they could clinch a playoff spot. But they seem like the least likely team to pull it off this week, just because of all the other crap that has to happen this week, including the Jets beating the Saints and the Falcons beating the Panthers. And then they have to go ahead and win versus Buffalo. Not an easy thing. And then, Carolina Arizona seems to have the easiest way in. They just got to win. Like, if they could talk about controlling your own fate, or Minnesota and San Francisco lose. So, I don't know. What do you think down below? What do you think, who has the best shot of making it in, clinching their ticket? Do you think a team can win their division? It seems like Green Bay has a pretty good shot at winning it all, winning their division, with a Green Bay win and a Minnesota loss. So, that seems to me the most likely thing that could happen based on, who everybody's playing, all things considered. Yeah. Seems like the Packers could win their division. Tampa Bay could, but that seems like the most likely thing of them clinching this weekend, just because of all these weird stipulations with them. And Arizona probably gets in. They don't have much task ahead of them. All right. Yeah, that's about it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, all that YouTube stuff. And yeah, that's about it. That's week 14 for playoff clinching scenarios. Next week, I'll probably have a lot more. We'll see, though. The AFC might go down to week 17, it looks like. So I guess we'll see. All right. Peace out. Leave your thoughts down below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Peace out.